Well, what are we doing? We are live here. I got a sunburn. We're going to have Michael B on tonight. We're going to have some fun. Yesterday was insane. We got some deals. We did some charity streams. It was a lot of fun. I almost canceled today's episode because I'm just like kind of not burned out. Like I'm just really tired, right? Because it was a pretty big event. But I called Michael B and I said, come on, man, let's do it. And he's like, I'm down. So this is a last minute live stream. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, man. Just, I'm trying to recover from yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I woke up today and there's more deals. The deals never end. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit, have a little discussion. So let's jump right in. These are what the deals are going on. This is from Best Buy. This is on Facebook. People are talking about it today. And this is only if you have a special Best Buy membership.
Yeah.
Which I don't have, but evidently if you have this Total Tech membership, you can get Ridge Racer for $3.99. Now, this is originally $6.99. And I wonder if this is a clue of maybe we're going to see things like Ridge Racer. The other thing I heard about, did you hear about another cab also being discounted?
Nope.
T2.
Oh, wow.
T2. So if you look, this is from Sean Watson. If you look in the Facebook groups, I think this one, and then there's some people talking about how they picked up, right here, he says, love the heads up from the group, was on the fence at $700, was 1 foot over the fence when he saw it was $549, but through some shenanigans, $3.99 is what he was able to do. He spent some Amazon points on Best Buy gift cards, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's still a part of this similar deal, because I saw, again, I don't have this Total Tech price, so I can't see what these prices. I ran my script. It didn't catch anything, because these are like, I don't know, you got to be a part of the club or something. But I got to ask you, I don't have either one of those cabinets. And for those that are interested in buying it, you got to tell me a little bit more about that Ridge Racer. At that $3.99 price, why would it be worth it?
Oh, it's big time worth it. Anybody who tuned in, when was that? Was that Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday I did it. I did a stream from my Ridge Racer cabinet. I talked about why it was maybe a little bit of a better racing choice than Outrun, depending on what you're interested in. One thing they don't get credit on enough is, that game is probably the most advanced graphical feat that Arcade1up would put on their chipset, and it runs beautifully. Like, the emulation is great. The experience is really fun. With racing games, you want to go more modern. It's pretty same, the build for the stand-up Outrun, except for the fact the steering wheel feels a little bit different. The gear shifter feels a little bit different, and the tension in the springs is a little bit tighter. But overall, a very exciting racing package, one I'm very happy with.
Yeah, that's really cool. We get those in the chat. Big Reese, what's going on? Zero Hero, Console Fanboy, and Ralphie Duran. Lewis Chambers, what's going on, man? 19K Fox, the man himself, where we discovered yesterday that he's hot. He's hot, actually.
Objectively.
So, Chucky Shea, is that how you pronounce his last name? Is it Shea? Or I guess I've never said it out loud. Shea? Chucky Shea? Chucky Shea.
What I go with. Chucky
he says,
Shea.
I would get a T2 for $400 now. I want T2. $400 is a pretty good. What's up, Kongs or Us? It's good to see from you. Amazing job you did yesterday, Kongs or Us. It's kind of funny. I'm starting to see people post on the Facebook groups that they were at the event yesterday, and they got the Outrun. Now, John originally was okay with us pimping out the Outrun at $50, but there was some hesitation from the group that were talking about it because they were the waterproof edition.
Stringer Films edition.
The Stringer Films edition. They were underwater, but I'm hearing people are assembling it, and they're flawless. Like, they're working great. What a deal at $50. So, I don't know. $50 for Outrun or $3.99 for Ridge Racer? Which one do you think?
It's the sit down Outrun. That's the only thing I will say. It's $50, so it's a no brainer. You could do it, but like anybody that's had the sit down Outrun, like obviously Outrun sit down is probably the better way to play it, but not in that form factor. That form factor is really tough. Great for kids, not for adults.
So you've talked about that before. Maybe we can elaborate on it. Like, do you think Arcade1up could come out with a form factor that is sit down, that works? It's like they cracked the code, figured it out. And if so, what would that look like?
Honestly, you can play it pretty well if you have longer legs than I do. I have really like nuts short legs. Like I have a longer body and then like a 28 leg. So it's hard for
Really?
me. Yeah, it's hard for me to put my leg down off the stool and get to the pedals. So I have to do a little bit of shifting around. But if you have normal like 32-inch leg, like you could easily put your foot down from the stool onto the pedals and play it pretty comfortably. What I would like to see, and I don't know if they can do it where they have the flat pack, is maybe some kind of bigger base that comes up to almost the same height as a stool, but is a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more padded. That also gives you good clearance to get down to the foot pedals. These games are racing games are meant to be played sitting. It's just not on the floor.
Yeah, that's interesting. For those that are just joining the chat, what we were talking about is this is just a special deal if you have the total tech price. But if you're on the fence about, I think T2 has a deal as well. If you're on the fence about a $699 Ridge Racer, supposedly right now, if you subscribe to this total tech price on Best Buy in the United States, you'll see a price of $399 for Ridge Racer. So that's the discussion that's been going on today. Sean Watson mentioned this, and a few other people have been able to take advantage of the deal. Again, I don't have that total tech. I actually don't even know what that subscription is, but I would imagine, I mean, if you want Ridge Racer, it's got to be worth it because, like, that's a $300 savings.
It is.
I doubt the total tech. Let's look at that. Total tech price. Does anyone in the chat know how much it costs for the total Best Buy?
I heard a rumor there was another huge sale going on tomorrow. Are you ready for that one?
Go ahead.
It's the Bobby Boo sale. He's going to be bringing his...
Yeah, and I'd heard about some other deals as well. What I'm looking at, wow, this is weird. Total Tech yearly membership is $200 a year. Now, I don't know exactly what comes with that. Maybe it's worth it. Or is it one of those things where you could try it for a month, pay the $33 a month? I don't know. I don't know. So if you do the Total Tech, then I guess you're still spending like $500. If you don't have Total Tech already, then you're spending $500 for a cab. So it's like $200 for the Total Tech, but you'd have to check and see what benefits you're getting and if they're worth it. I don't know. There's another deal that's coming. You ready for this one, Mike?
Sure. Let's go. Prime
Day is coming, and all of the Intech gaming that I've seen, all the control panels, $99.
Hold on, that's wild.
That's low. They're taking advantage of that Prime Day. So I saw an ad for that. So that starts July 12th, I believe. I believe it's Tuesday. Yeah. So keep an eye out for those Amazon deals. I mean, Amazon's going to be fire, I think, anyway, Prime Day. Keep an eye on all the things that I don't know. My wife goes nuts on Amazon. She thinks she's on top of it because what she does is we have like consumable items that we buy regularly. So you're going to spend that money, whether it's garbage bags, whatever it is. And if you can find like an incredible discount on Amazon, have it shipped to you, rather than, going to your local store, do it on Prime Day and stock up,
So you buy in bulk. You're telling us you're a doomsday hoarder.
Well, sometimes I sit down and do the math and be like, well, we do about 2 or 3 trash bags, every week. That's what I usually put in the can. So how many did I buy? And
are you going to have to show up at work one day and eat 8 years of preserves?
I'm not that bad. We just have some basics. Did you ever get a chance to play with the Intech Gaming control panels?
I'm waiting because I'm all my games right now, all my Arcade1up cabinets are vanilla? The way I want them. Yeah, they're vanilla. But I have a cabinet coming in the very near future that's going to replace one of my cabinets. And instead of sell it, I'm going to play around with it and put my Intech deck in it because I've got some really cool things I can do. Yeah. I'll spoil it a little bit. I got the one with Dreamcast and N64. So really cool shit there. And plus it does switch too. So I'm doing I guess like a soft mod where I can play a game that's the art's already on the cabinet.
Ooh, pretty exciting. Yeah, I wonder what Amazon deals will pop up for cabs. I mean, it's possible that Arcade. I think Arcade1. I'm guessing Arcade1up manages the Amazon account, but I guess I was trying to get that out of John when we were talking to him yesterday. Now, one thing I thought we would do that would be a lot of fun is what if we go through... Yesterday we had this live stream, right? It was on your show. And we did a rapid fire.
Yep.
And I thought what we do is we would pull up. You're all like, that was my idea for tomorrow's show. No, I was thinking, what if we pull that up and we just played a little bit? Because we did rapid fire. I want to... No, we never had time to go, wait a second. Did he basically say Road Blasters is possible? Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Let me see if I can pull that up. All right, so we are going to pull up when John was doing the rapid fire and see if we can sit down and analyze this. All right, I think I got it up. The other thing I want to talk about from yesterday's show that was a lot of fun, and you know about this, but I don't think a lot of people do, but that incredible clip with the lady that tried to kiss John. We found out she was trolling the community. She's a part of the Arcade1up community. She was there specifically with her husband for the Arcade1up event. They were watching the show during that took place, and she was like, I'm gonna go over there and go mess with John, and the husband's like, no, don't do it. And she's like, I'm gonna do it. So she knew what she was doing, which, if you think about it, actually makes it cooler. The fact that she played it up like she's just this random drunk trying to kiss John D.
Amazing.
And actually, she's like in the Facebook groups and stuff with her husband, and this is a hobby of theirs. That's funny. And they came away with tons of, like, got Big Blue and stuff.
Yeah. I will say, unbelievable rib, but it does take some of the magic out of the moment for me. Like, it's like, you know, when you watch Halloween, what I didn't like about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies was they really explained Michael's backstory and explained why he was a killer. I always thought it was more scary that there was no explanation. Like, he just snapped and started killing people. No rhyme or reason. So that's how I feel about this. It's just, if it was some random woman was just like, I think you're cute, that's more exciting to me. But I still think it's a really good rib.
Yeah, either way, right? Like, I think a lot of people will go on with their life never knowing, didn't watch this stream, get the clarification, but at the same time. Okay, so let me see if this is going to be difficult because I'm going to try to pull this up. And give me 1 second. Here's the charity stream that we did yesterday. And there was that rapid fire moment. Where was that? I want to say it was kind of into the stream.
Yeah, it was after John came out and said I couldn't sell any more pub tables. Or not pub tables, the head-to-heads. Ooh.
Yeah. It was also around the time that everyone was chatting different titles. So let me find that. It'll just take a second. I'm sure I can get it in a moment. What else has been going on, Mike, while I find it?
Well, Zero Hero's here in the chat, and Zero Hero can't give me a hard time anymore because yesterday he picked up a Pong head-to-head table, and you will absolutely love it. No more making fun of me because of my Pong pub table. And Zero Hero, I've seen you on Twitter. I understand, but you got to understand, everything else goes on hold until we get a Cubert. No more 90s games. John confirmed yesterday.
No more 90s games.
No more 90s games. All Cubert all the time.
Oh, that's funny. All right, I think we're pulled up here. Let's try it out. Let me know if you can hear it, Mike.
Did you know Revolution
It's what he
X?
wants to do.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, so we talked about Revolution X.
Yeah.
Let's stop right there. Like, he had mentioned in the stream, essentially, I was thinking back, and we should play this game with John again. It was actually word association is what we were doing. I say a title, and he says the first thing that comes to his mind. I didn't express it that way. That's what came out. And so with Revolution X, do you remember his answer for that one?
He said it was going to be a free online add-on for Terminator 2. Never happened. Like, he's trolling. Massive troll. Yeah.
Massive troll, but I think he said what he knows what we would want, and that's what we would want. And that would be amazing.
It would, but like I kind of understand it too. Like the money that would go into getting Revolution X as a secondary game just makes it absolutely not worth the investment. And trying to get Aerosmith to sign off on not being the lead game, like I get it, but never
Now,
happened.
do you think they would potentially re-release T2 reskinned to Revolution X, and it's the only game on it?
Yes, 100%.
I mean, what else are they gonna do with that cab? Like they could reuse that exact mold for Revolution X perfectly.
They could reuse it for Operation Wolf too. I know people aren't going to be happy
that's
about
fair.
that, but yeah.
That's fair. That is fair. All right, let's see what we got next. What is the next title we discuss?
Did you know with Revolution X, that's the game where music is your weapon? That's true.
That's right.
You know,
is your
watch.
weapon.
Yeah, I think you should watch Rev's interview.
Okay, so we talk about the Rev's interview for a minute.
Yes.
Rev's.
REV. We went into a lot of insights. We talked about Revolution Quarters on the
because it was the guy who did Robotron 2084. That's the guy.
The Buck Hunter Company interview.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We'll get through that.
Next and WW.
Just pause that for a quick second, Justin,
Yep.
because someone mentioned this in the chat, and John said, and I gotta go back on this. John said, and Zero Heroes pointing it up, Cruising USA. Cruising USA is a little bit more complicated than just getting the approval from Raw Thrills, because why did Cruising Blast only show up on a Nintendo console?
I did hear about that, right? It's because Nintendo was a part of it.
Nintendo's still a part of it. So as much as they have this awesome partnership with Raw Thrills, and Raw Thrills is really the lead dog in developing it, there's some tie in there with Nintendo where Arcade1up still has to do the thing they haven't been able to do, get Nintendo to sign off on it. This isn't Killer Instinct, because Nintendo are done with Killer Instinct.
Right. Man, that's tough. All right, so let's hear the next part.
Open just yet, but he'll like to open.
What's more probable? WWF.
Okay, you did the WWF, which was a discussion.
And then maybe get some of the...
Or, wasn't it? Check
Give me a
Yoke.
second.
Yep.
Let's see. Here we go. Carnival.
It's a good game. Check it out, though. Look at the specs on the CPU.
Okay. So do you remember this? He said this a few times. Hold on. Where in the case of Carnival, he said, check out the specs. And I think what he's drawing our attention to is it's not ready yet. We can't, our emulation or the commercial emulation that's available is just not ready for some of these games. I think it would be pretty amazing. Maybe this is just the flow for Arcade1up, is they're going to continue to release things as the CPU prices come down, the quality kind of goes up, the performance goes up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think some of it's an equation. Like Killer Instinct came out on their existing boards, and you have to think somebody sat down somewhere and said, do we invest in better boards, or do we invest more in software emulation getting this to work on our existing boards? So there has to be some kind of critical equation, and some things just aren't going to run on what they currently have. It is what it is. And there's also issues with emulators out there. Sometimes there's not commercial emulators that can run this stuff in the first place. Like I believe there's no commercial emulators right now for, oh god, what is it? Is it Naomi? No,
he did mention that.
Yeah.
He said that would be kind of like a difficulty. What game I think we were talking about?
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
And so then we had a conversation about cruising, and then that got into the cruising conversation.
Because we work with Raw Thrills, who has the license.
Yeah, which we were just discussing. I think this was a decent discussion that we kind of covered. Let me jump to another. The last minute or so, I think we missed a whole bunch of them.
Cabinets.
Let me try to find the beginning of that rapid fire.
Love the cabinet.
Yeah, here's the one where we would just answer with hell no, here it maybe. Let me think about it. We can get House of the Dead.
Model 2.
Okay, so there you go. This is another one of those. The moment we get some really decent Sega Model 2 precedents, that's when it's more likely that we'll get something like a House of the Dead. And to my knowledge, there hasn't been any Sega Model 2 games released by Arcade1up at this point.
There's another difficulty point, and Lewis is in the chat. He can talk on this. Sega lost the source code for the original House of the Dead. So
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough too.
Yeah, so it is what it is. It's like, if you can get it to run on the ROM without any tweaks, and then also House of the Dead, if there's anything that they have to touch up, not for performance, but for licenses, for lawyers, that they might have a hard time patching those images.
Well,
right?
I don't know how Arcade1up software emulation works, but to put their online leaderboards, different things like that in there, maybe if they have to change anything, like, sometimes I don't know how it all works, but
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. So let's go to the next one we do. There's definitely one in there that I was really excited that he mentioned. Let's see. Star Wars XL.
I love it.
Okay. He loves Star Wars XL. Okay. Space Harrier.
No promises.
Okay, no promises. Now, we did talk about this Star Wars XL somewhere in the show. And you remember he was saying, because of it's that equation, because of chip shortages, because of increased costs in goods, BOE monitor, we trashed the 19-inch BOE monitor. The feedback that they got was, you can't do it without an IPS screen. Like, we're not going to let you get away with it. And if you look at it, it appears as though, I don't know if it's true, but have you seen that it's a picture screenshot that's been going around social media where the new Yoga Flame edition of Street Fighter is supposed to be a BOE monitor, a 4x3 BOE monitor?
I haven't seen that. What I saw was there was correspondence back from Arcade1up customer service saying such. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
And so if that's true, that means MK came out and we were like, nope. And they were like, oops, let's fix that. Because I wouldn't imagine that they would just, this cab there's stock, or there's not enough stock, but the next cab there is stock. I think they were testing the waters and we were like, we need a better monitor.
I don't know if they would make that kind of left turn, if there's time to make that kind of left turn without real hard sales data. Because are you going to do that from, a couple personalities on the internet saying, these screens are shit? Or are you going to wait till you get some sales data to see how they perform?
That's fair.
What returns look like. Yeah.
Where are we at in the Yoga Flame? If you go to arcade1up.com, a lot of time it's a pre-order right now.
Yeah.
And when is it supposed to ship? And if you look at the video, I guess it is a physical unit, isn't it? It's not mock-up. I thought yeah. I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is very valid. It takes time. Yeah, they're saying an August ship date. Yeah, that means they're manufactured already, right? So they made the decision of 4x3. Man, it's great. Maybe it is availability. Maybe they just didn't have the BOE stock for the MK, which was probably way earlier this year. Man. Well, the other thing is I'm a little hesitant if it's actually true. Like, what if it is a TN monitor and the customer service is just wrong?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. I don't know what to say about it. I know that UAG pointed out in the videos for the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. I don't know if this was behind the scenes or if this was on screen. UAG pointed out, man, Miss Pac-Man looks like it's a BOE from all the on-screen footage. So there's a possibility that for some reason just these three got a bad batch, but Arcade1up approved for these going forward, which is crazy because if you look at it this way, the three cabinets that are like, pretty much matchmaking iconic, beautiful history pieces that came out first all have crappy TN monitors, while the two, I'm going to call them creative cabinets that I have less interest in, have better monitors. So
it's a great observation. If you take a look, what we're talking about is this is the brand new cabinet. And this is real footage of, camera panning around an actual a model, an actress, and that looks like a BOE monitor. Keep in mind, that is also exactly the same form factor as the 40th anniversary editions. So it may be copy paste, swap out the ROM, swap out the artwork, and when they copy paste, you get BOE, and maybe they have enough stock for, maybe they're only making 10,000 of these, but maybe they made 50,000 of the MKs, and they're like, there's not 50,000 BOE monitors available at that time. I don't know, but here's a point I want to point out. UAG was right. I mean, this clearly looks like a high-quality monitor that's on this video here. Now, let's go look at the monitor. Have you seen this? Let's go look at the monitor that's on the Yoga Flame edition. Okay? Watch closely for this monitor, okay? You ready for it? All right, here we go. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, so here it is. Here it is, guys. We're going to take a look at the monitor that's on the... Oh, wait. We missed it. Okay, hold on a second. It's going to show it in just a second. Camera's panning around. Let's see. Take a look at that monitor. Okay, here it comes. It's... Nope. Okay, hold on. We're going to bend around this corner here to take a look at that video. Nope. Okay. Right here. I swear we're going to see it. This is the scene where we'll see the monitor. Nope. We didn't know.
So can you pause it right there?
Yeah.
Isn't that the girl that was at the Arcade1up event? Isn't that Nicole?
Is that Nicole? I think it's Nicole.
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, they did this before where they have Arcade1up employees.
David McIntosh was on a photo shoot.
David McIntosh was on. But I've never seen they were in the video. Is it really her?
I think so.
What? Nooner's like, that's Nicole.
Yeah. P-Dubs. Tell Nicole P-Dubs says hi. She's probably heard of me.
That's priceless. Okay, so let's take a look at this this next one here. It's going to take a second for me to share the screen because I got to do it this other way. And here it is. Okay, we're going to take a look at the next cabinet that we ask Arcade1up if they'll ever make.
Whoa!
Space Harrier.
That's a tough one. Designing it like the original cab.
No, you don't do that.
Stick. Maybe, but it probably... Does the Space Harrier and Afterburner kind of work together? I don't know. Go ahead. Hey, go on.
Smash TV. Okay, Smash TV.
Robotron.
Oh, did you see that? Oh my gosh, replay that. We get Michael B just thumbs down.
Hey, go on.
Smash TV.
Robotron.
Yeah!
That's great. That's so great.
There was actually a slight delay there because as soon as he said I was already thumbs down and when you said Smash TV, and then when he said Robotron, that's when I let out the ass. So there was a slight delay for me there.
So what do you think that would end up being then? If what's the clue that he's trying to give? Smash TV. His answer's Robotron. What's the clue?
Well, it's still going to be Smash TV. Zero Hero, you don't have to worry. There is a better art package, and what I'm assuming they're concerned about is mainstream appeal. Like, can they sell it mainstream? It depends on how they sell it. Because if this is one of the special reserve, you go all the way Robotron, because Robotron is one of those games. Like if you watch Jason Third Floor Arcade, Between One Fern, he did a big a tour through a local arcade that just opened up. And of course, they don't have a Smash TV cab in there. They have a Robotron because Robotron is an iconic piece of arcade history. So as a special reserve cab, it's why I've been preaching it so much for this cab. I think Robotron's a no-brainer, but I get it. Some people don't have the nostalgia for the older arcade games and the more simpler iconic art. Smash TV is a pretty cab. Plus, there's also the console games that were out there. Some people might know. Maybe that has more mainstream appeal than Robotron. Robotron, absolutely niche arcade collectors, wet dream. Smash TV is just, Smash TV.
Well, I'm sure you'll take it either way, right? And keep in mind, it could be a Mortal Kombat Defender situation. Right?
Oh, that would be brutal. Brutal.
Hopefully they announce it at the same time, because then you would not order the Smash TV. Because if it has Robotron on it, you would probably get it, right?
And I'm sorry I'm being so adamant about this, but what you guys probably don't know is I live in Canada, which as we call it is Maple Syrup Bizarro Land. So in Maple Syrup Bizarro Land, we don't get the reskins. So you know how you guys got that Dig Dug reskin, you got your Defender, Gallagher reskins. We don't get those. We get the main retail cab. That's it. Like we didn't get stand up outrun. Like we don't get any of that stuff. So
you gotta
we get
talk
one
to the
crack
brick and be like, "Come on, brick."
It's not the brick. It's Arcade1up.
Really?
Yeah, because the brick will take anything Arcade1up has. Trust me.
Really? Well, we got to talk to Arcade1up then,
Yeah.
huh? All right, let's work on that. There's some people in Canada that need their crack, you know. All right. Okay, so Smash TV, Cube, Mike.
Sign the petition.
Oh, sign the petition. Sinistar.
49-way joystick.
Okay, that was great. So Sinistar, his answer was 49-way joystick. And we've talked about this, I think, a little bit before. The theory is NFL Blitz is coming out, and that has a special joystick, right? A 49-way joystick. And some people that may not know about this in the chat, they're like, really? They're going to actually remake an authentic 49-way joystick exactly the way it was done back in the day? And that's not the answer. The answer is it's just a mouse. It's an optical joystick. It's essentially sending very similar signals, and it's probably not that hard to reproduce like the original. The feel is going to be one thing. Like, will it feel like the original? Whether they can pull that off, I'm not sure. But from the electronics point of view, 49-way is just 3 in all directions, and you have that sensitivity. So instead of a single micro switch in 4 directions, you're going to have 3. And so with an optical joystick, you're measuring the pressure essentially to determine. But they've already done that. They did that with 2 POTS potentiometers on the Star Wars. So the Star Wars is essentially kind of like an analog mouse in the but you know you're rotating, and you're rotating in the other way. But the point is it has that sensitivity. You know, so it's very capable for them to do, and hopefully they'll get it right. My guess is, and I think John has said this on another show before, you spend the money to build that, and you have your manufacturer assemble that, and you have to buy a whole bunch of them to make the costs right, and then you sell it on both NFL Blitz and a Defender, a real good Defender that has, like he talked about on the show, has like the same games as Partycade, and then also has Sinistar on it, because then you can throw the 49-way gate stick in it.
Yeah, I mean, when you were saying Sinistar, like you mentioned to me a couple times that they could possibly do a Sinistar, and I look at that and I'm like, I'm so excited because very cool game. But when it comes right down to brass tacks, I mean, this is a company that's like, I don't know, Qbert, would Qbert sell? Like, you know, one of the most iconic arcade games of all time, had its own show, was in movies. I don't know if we can sell that, but Sinistar, yeah, we could do. How many people have heard of Sinistar in the mainstream compared to, you know, but on a Defender cab, yeah, that'll work 100%.
Right. It probably won't get its dedicated version, but he's also, and we talked about offline on this, and a little bit online, there's a number of games that he described as being in licensing limbo.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's like no one really knows who owns it. Someone's got to do the research. It's all these companies bought out another company, so he has to reach out to the legal company and be like, you own this. You do own this. I'm pretty sure you own this. Can you go get proof that you own this? And then, you know, do all the paperwork. And sometimes they are like, yeah, we're really busy with like a whole bunch of projects going on right now. You know, we have 300 actors that we have to sign off for this next set of movies coming out. And that's what we do on a daily basis to make money for WB or whoever it is. So it's just trying to get them to take the time. And I think another one was Joust 2 is another one that's like, they got the license for Joust 1, but not Joust 2. But it's not that they can't do it. Everyone says yes, but there's certain pieces of the game that they got to get sign off on certain companies. So he's working hard. And the other one he was trying to get was Stargate, because Stargate's another one where it's like in this kind of limbo position. And I wonder if that's why he's been holding off on doing like a definitive Defender, because he's like, he wants to do a Defender and Stargate on the same, you know, it's still a Defender cab, but it has Stargate in it as well.
Well, they did that Defender Mortal Kombat, and as much as some people were like, "Oh, thank God, I've always wanted a Defender," we want the real deal. Like we want the Defender Partycade, in the 3/4
Catalina
scale.
wine mix.
Catalina wine mixer. I really hope my reservation goes through on that Defender Partycade, because again, that's another one was just never available in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Super Chat came in and says, I ordered an iArcade Double Dragon Gold because it seems like 1UP is not getting its license. What do you think has better quality, iArcade or 1UP? Now, you have that gold. Is that right? Let me see.
I do,
Hold
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Let's reveal it. You have the dead cells. That's right behind you. So you have experience, brother, with this cabinet. What do you think?
Depends on what you want. And you've got to keep in mind, iArcade is a different animal than Arcade1up. I think that iArcade is potentially overall a better machine. I mean, when you build it, you feel the quality. Like this thing is just absolutely unreal. But then it's also built that way because it's essentially almost like a loss leader, because then they're turning around and trying to make money from their online store. So they're putting out this epic product, and like it is really good. Like it's awesome, controls well, good screen, all that stuff. But they're not paying licenses up front. There's not stuff attached into the machine. They don't have to rely on this. Arcade1up, on the other hand, have much higher costs in terms of licensing, because they're putting out a product like, say, for example, they did Double Dragon Cab. They have to pay for the licenses. They can only put the Taito games on that one. Taito, I got confused there. The Technos, which are under Arc System Works, they can only put Technos games on that cabinet, and more than likely it's just going to be Double Dragon games. Then they've got to pay for the art. They've got to pay for the original art is the trick thing. So there's a lot of compromises that goes in to get that Double Dragon Cab out at a price that's still significantly lower than what the iArcade Gold is going to cost you. That I will tell you, I love that iArcade Gold Double Dragon Cab. I just wish that the artwork was affixed. I hate the fact that's a black cab and you got to put your own artwork on, and it loses its point of making sense on the gold edition, because your control panel is not black. There's no art to put on it. That already has Double Dragon art on it. So does the marquee. So why not just put the art on the sides? Like you're not like you're saying, well, you got a plain black cabinet, because you don't anymore. So
is it true
you might as well.
They had to do it not because of any. I heard it was a licensing thing where it was like they got the game on the cabinet, but they got the license through an interesting way.
Yeah.
And they didn't go through the front door. They went through some back door. And kind of when you go through the back door, one of the nuances perhaps in the contract is, it can't be sold as a cabinet with art already, already affixed to it. And it's like, okay, we'll just don't affix the art to the cabinet, and at least that's the rumor some people have been talking about.
But the art is affixed to this cabinet on the control panel and the marquee. So
maybe the contract says it can't be affixed to the side.
Yeah, it's like, okay, weird. But Papa Brad's here. Papa Brad's a huge iArcade fan, and I on the cuff answer this, but I do have to go back and reiterate what he's saying too. I said at the beginning, it depends what you want as well, because I was trying to explain that you add other games. The iArcade's just a big multicade, and I would even say it's not really a multicade. It's more a consoleized arcade. That would be a better terminology for it. It's an arcade console, right?
Well, they even said that. They're an arcade console. Yeah.
It's an arcade console, not a home arcade product like Arcade1up. Arcade1ups are essentially, they're still multicades, but they're still generally recreations of original arcades that give you a little bit of extra value.
Right. And I think we all have to just understand that everyone has different values for what they want out of a cabinet. I mean, there was another person in the chat that said, while you were here, TJ, he says, we don't care about quality over here, just nostalgia. And maybe he was joking a little bit, but what we have to understand is, like, some people, that's actually how they feel. And, like, we can respect that, hey, that's their opinion, and that's cool. There was someone else that said something on Facebook that I thought was really cool. I think it was what P-Dub said yesterday at the stream. This idea that we had a lot of fun yesterday, and Arcade1up can bring a lot of joy into our lives, and the community and all of that. And, well, that's true whether it's Arcade1up or iArcade. And that alone is, you don't have to have a full-size arcade to recreate that feeling. And, some people don't have the knowledge. Some people don't have the experience. Some people I mean, frankly, there's some people in the community that are disabled that they wouldn't have the luxury to be able to carry a large cabinet around because of their circumstances. But the 3/4 scale, they can. Like, that's an option for them, and you definitely don't want to diminish anyone else's joy. Like, that's just kind of dumb, right? Like, you have to enjoy life the way I enjoy it. It's like, well, who are you to say that? This other person enjoys life the way they enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, so I have just like this meme, or I don't know what you want to call it, just this like stick figure picture where people are just having fun, and the guy comes out, yells, "Stop having fun!"
Stop.
From now on, whenever anybody tries to tell somebody what to do, I'm just going to post that.
That's right. It's so true. All right, so yesterday, let's see what else we got in here. You hear the audio? Daytona. You can hear this, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Marvel. Marvel versus Capcom 2.
No, it's Marvel versus Capcom II.
He's been watching. That's great. I love that. Spy Hunter.
Love the cabinet. Could be a one-off. Direct to consumer if it happens.
Okay, so that's cool that we heard Spy Hunter direct to consumer. If it happens, you know, I wonder if what he's trying to say is there are some titles that fall within that category where it's probably not for the greater audience, but they'd be willing to do it. I wonder if that gives you hope for a Robotron, Mike.
It does. Yeah, I've got big plans for my show tomorrow, and I've got theories that I want to throw out there. So
That's great.
I'm not going to say too much right now.
That sounds good. I totally understand. I look forward to that.
Would you have to pay Don Johnson royalties if you did Spy Hunter?
in the artwork, is that really him?
Yeah. No.
No
but
way.
It looks so close.
It looks like him, right?
Yeah.
It looks like him.
Sega Star Wars Trilogy.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Big Kong had a good mod for that one. What's Big Kong?
Yeah.
Or someone else.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's an interesting thing. Sega Star Wars Trilogy. His response makes sense. What does that mean, Mike? Sega Star Wars Trilogy makes sense.
Makes sense they would do it because Star Wars is such a, mainstream title. It's going to sell well. It's going to bring people in. They have Sega on board. All the pieces are there. It's obviously one of their most requested cabs. It's just a matter of time. I think we might. It's easy to say we might see a Star Wars XL. You won't see the one thing that everybody keeps talking about seeing a new Star Wars. They're like, yeah, just put all the games on one cab. You're not going to get Atari and Sega to share royalties. That'd be very, very unlikely. And also, why would Arcade1up do that when they can just release another Atari Star Wars and a Sega Star Wars and then sell both of them? Why would they just not take money?
That's right. You want to...
Let's see. Bill Buttlicker here. My family built this country.
How dare you, sir? My family built this country.
Thank you so much for bringing a comment that's an inside joke here on these streams. Yeah, someone was asking what the prices were yesterday. If anyone in the chat wants to make their guess on what the prices were yesterday so that other people can enjoy that, Giovanni claims that the Big Blue was $149. So that's a good theory. It's a very good theory.
I can neither confirm or deny, but it makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Next one. Moon Patrol.
Please. I love the game, but please.
Yeah. Moon Patrol is not happening, right?
Only one game.
Oh, 720. Only one game. That's interesting. Does that mean it's coming, but it's only going to have one game? Or that's the problem. It only has one game.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not that familiar with 720, except for I know that the cabinet is just batshit bonkers. Cool looking cabinet with big jukebox up on top. I don't know what the control schematic is. I don't know what the licensing is for 720. only experience I have with 720 is playing it on the NES. So
Yeah.
I'll have to back out of this. I don't know why it would be only one game, but I could see them doing a special edition with the right cabinet shape. That would be awesome.
Yeah, the only other one game we've seen, right, is T2.
Yeah.
Let's see, super chat. Thank you so much. It says from Planet Pow. Sorry. So was Time Crisis release date confirmed? Do we know?
No, there was nothing like that. The Big Reese put a video out earlier today saying the potential leaked game list for the Time Crisis cabinet. And, go watch Big Reese's video, decide for yourself, and we'll see what happens.
Right. Now, I will say, I've been watching Big Reese, myself, you, 19K Fox, sometimes P-Dubs. We like to make these theory videos, and they're great. They're fun. Sometimes the theory videos are based on conversations with John D in live streams, and then him really teasing that it's going to happen. And that was with Time Crisis. For me, a few years ago, he's like, yeah, we're totally doing it. We got the license. We got this. But at that time, there was also them trying to figure out how they would do it, like what size screen it would be. So it was really early in the development. And to my knowledge, there's no definitive information. There's no leak that shows evidence that it's happening. Formula Fox says, you guys under NDA. With Arcade1up, I'm not. I don't think you are either, right? Yeah, we've never signed anything.
The only company I have an NDA with, I think, is AtGames.
Right.
iArcade, I don't think I do. And Arcade1up, no, I've never been asked to sign at all. And the only time I've gotten knowledge about something that was happening, like definitively happening from Arcade1up, was before we did this event. And that was because we're in the Illuminati, or because we were volunteers and they needed us to know the information before we did it.
That's correct. And it was a collaboration effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you guys watch shows where John D is live and he's kind of teasing games, that's exactly what he's doing when we close the stream and we're still talking.
Yeah, he is like, you can't get a straight answer from John. Let's just put it that way. Like, you big tease. Like, even one-on-one, like, he'll just say, let me put it to you this way. Hypothetically, two dogs go into the woods, they find a bone, they're gonna fight over it, one dog comes out. What does that tell you? And then you're like, I don't know what just happened.
I don't know. But sometimes he'll say, like, yeah, we have a few people looking at how we could do a 49-way stick. I mean, there's a handful of games that use that technology, and hypothetically speaking, if we could figure out how to do it, it would make those games a little bit more unique.
I do have an NDA from Arcade1up. Garage Gamer just reminded me, but it's very specific. I have an NDA for the what's it called? Beta tester program. So anything that comes out of the beta tester stuff, I can't talk about.
Have you ever received a beta testing?
Never. Nothing. No.
So you have nothing to reveal?
No.
Yeah, the other piece of it is an NDA is only sticky if you get something out of it. Like, you know about that, right? It's like there's nothing to establish the NDA, because if you sign an NDA and then they share information with you, but that information has zero value to you, then how do they get, like, you didn't receive money, you didn't receive you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there has to be, like, a reason for the it's transactional, right? There's a reason why you're signing this. You're a contractor, you're getting paid, you need to know this information. Otherwise, why would you sign? I guess there are scenarios where someone signs an NDA because they're like, we want to have a conversation. Okay, well, why are you having a conversation? Well, because there's going to be a deal later. You know what I mean? So there was this intent that you were going to sign a contract, and then, but anyway, I'm just saying that because it's kind of funny that you signed a contract, but yet there's nothing, there's no information to withhold. This is what they should do, is you sign an NDA and then they give you a t-shirt.
I want a t-shirt so bad. I'm so irritated by that.
Yeah, all I got was a pink one, so I guess I got something. Star Trek.
Vector graphics, Star Trek fans, one game. Sign the petition.
Alien versus Predator.
Alien versus Predator.
Robert
He
Foxworth.
basically made fun of
Fox.
19K Fox on that one, right?
Not just 19K Fox.
He knows 19K Fox wants that
Marvel.
one.
Yeah.
Revolution
Possible.
X. Revolution X. All right, so I
Revolution
think
X.
we've gone through
Free.
the meat of it. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. I think we've gone through the meat of yesterday's rapid fire with John D in the titles. Was there anything in that list that you were excited about?
Oh, listen, Justin, everything in that list I was excited about. I will say, I made this joke about Arcade1up hating 80s arcade games for a while. And if you go through that list and look at some of the games that were mentioned, like Moon Patrol gets brought up, and you're like, yeah, man, Moon Patrol will be awesome. But I guess their stance right now, they seem to have more of a proclivity to greenlight more 90s type games. And, I don't know. I don't know what the demand is. I'm not an expert. I'm speaking purely from passion here. Like when I look at arcade tours and the stuff that gets me excited, it's more the 80s base. So hearing some of those things, like talking about Moon Patrol and some other really cool, unique games like that, not hearing them's tough. And the other one too is I wonder when the community asks these games, are they asking for these games to be put on a cabinet or as a marquee game on a cabinet? Because those are really two different discussions as well.
You're wrong, Mike.
course.
90s games are better. They're just better.
Garage Gamer is also part of that tear down the Qbert petition rally on Twitter, by the way.
Chris says, why won't anyone ask John D about the status of the pinball and their
They did.
relationship with Zen? Yeah,
We did yesterday.
And we have in the past, and I think I skipped highlighting it specifically because I knew the answer, and I thought most people did. They said their relationship with Zen is fine. There's no issue, but there are currently no announcements for a new pinball machine. Do you have any more information on that?
No, I think you guys, you're just going to use common sense on this. When they released the pinballs were supposed to be the original pricing. Like you guys met David, and it was supposed to be between $549 and $599. That was their intention. That was the price point they really thought they could move them
I
at.
think
But
they even wanted $499.
yeah, it was supposed to be 500, and I was looking at it. I was like, working out the Canadian price. I was like, dope. Like this is actually going to happen for me. But what happened was just with the world, and people can debate about wood costs, everything like that. Whatever happened with shipping, everything like that, Arcade1up could no longer offer them at that price point. So they had to jump it up to, I think it was like $7.99 US is the regular price. And I don't think that price made the product that optimal. That price point made the product that optimal a seller. So I don't know how successful it is. I'm sure lots of people get them, especially when they go on sale. But from Arcade1up standpoint, they know the community wasn't super happy with the final result of the pinball, the 720 screen, some of the other issues with it as well. So they know they're going to have to, and Wi-Fi connectivity, being able to connect up to Zen leaderboard. So they know they're going to have to put some more money they're going to have to do some investment in emulation, research, all that stuff. And then, with the expense of screens, chipsets, all that shit, you're going to be coming out with an even more expensive product. And if fans are hesitant to pay $7.99 for a product, are people going to be happy paying $9.99 for a new pinball table with just minimal upgrades of maybe 1080p if they can get it to work and Wi-Fi connectivity? So I think, honestly, pinball's on hold until the world comes back to normal.
That's right. I think a few people are talking about, like Sheila in Gaming is saying, do you guys think they'll eventually move to an XL Pro cab style only? And I don't think they're going to. And it's the same reason for the pinball. I think early on when we were teasing about XL and Pro, there was this concept of, hey, we're going to start moving a little bit more into the XL Pro. And then the price tag hit Arcade1up at $699 for the Golden Tee. And then the audience was just, the customers were like, $6.99 for that. I mean, it's really cool, but it's a little more expensive. And that's just that title. Like, what about Pro? They haven't even ever released what a Pro price is going to be, and it's rumored to be $1,000 or maybe $1,200.
$9.99.
Right. And then the question is Arcade1up even making any decent money? This is going back to your formula. The formula is if they can get the balance of the right game, the right amount of wood, the right amount of screen size, and they have the value, everyone wins. We can get an inexpensive cabinet, and they can make a lot of money, and it's win-win-win, right? And
Win-win-win.
That's right. I win because And I think they're putting a lot of the projects on hold because they're like, we could totally sell it for $700 and we won't make a penny, and it's like, or we could wait. And if prices go down, we could sell it for, $600 and make a lot of money.
So I think what actually happened is because John's really, I think John's one of the only people that really pay a high amount of attention to what the community's doing. And when I say community, I mean this group here. So I think like they had plans to roll out the Pro. And, after the XL Golden Tee came out and the, scenes from the NBA Jam came out, I think John just walked in the office and he was like, yeah, the Pro's a no-go with that screen. We can't sell this shit.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get better screens. So let's just put this on hold.
Yeah. I just kept on texting him. I'm like, no IPS, no buy on the Pro line. I'm like, and then the next day I'm all like, you can't call it a Pro if it doesn't have an IPS screen in it. Because I mean, think about it, right?
Do they even make 19-inch IPS square? Well, 4x3 monitors?
Yeah, they are available.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a BOE 19-inch 4x3. The quantities I don't know. The price I don't know. Console Fanboy with his daily joke.
I think if iArcade can charge $9.99 for a Coleco Vision game from 1981, 1UP can charge $9.99 for quality AAA titles. Come on, guys!
I do a perfect Console Fanboy impression, by the way, with the help of digital audio assistants.
I understand what he's saying, and I understand that there's some people in the community that absolutely agree with what he's saying and are so upset with iArcade because of the quality of the games that are coming out. But it's not a fair statement at the same time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. And then Papa Brad with it.
I won't super chat for attention. I'll just say really controversial things in the chat. That will get people's attention.
Anyway, teasing you, bud. Oh my gosh, he's messaging me right now to shut up. Oh man, I hate when that happens. Anyway, so Justin, is that your Elvis impression?
Yeah.
Anyway, Console Fanboy, that's exactly what I sound like. Well, he makes a valid point. And I think one of the points that's interesting is if you get the cabinet just right. And I think the price, the hardware, the technology, people will pay. People will pay, I mean, I'm still shopping around for full-size arcades. And
the dark side.
The dark side. So one came up and it was, some of the problems is like, okay, this cabinet that I really want that I would at a local auction, I'd probably pay $1,500 for it. It came up for $500, except for it's not in town, so I can't go look at it. And then so I contacted the company how much the shipping would be, and shipping is going up in price. And they quoted me, I can't remember, one I wanted to get from New York, and it was not even a full size arcade. It was just a CRT bar top.
Yep.
It's $600 to ship. And then this one, I think it was like $800 to ship. So then it was like, I was like, I'm gonna have to reach out to the person and be like, can you take videos, like really good pictures? And he didn't want to do anything. I was like, what's on the inside? Like, is it running an FPGA board? Is it got original hardware? And he's like, why don't you come over and take a look at it? I'm like, no, I live in far away. And he's like, well, then you can't pick it up. And I'm like, but I can hire a company to come pick it up. It's like, it won't be any different to you. And so anyway, my point is I don't know what my point is, but I was willing to do it at the price, but then it can get frustrating because you don't want, here's the point I'm trying to illustrate. You don't know what you're going to get, in that scenario. Right. And then that's frustrating because the new Arcade1up Pro is going to come out, this is going back to the thing. We got to push them. Like, it would be really nice if they just actually start marking on their website, like, this is going to come with an IPS screen, or this doesn't come with, or just mark that it's 4x3. And the wink is, if it says 4x3, we all know it's IPS. And if it's 5x4, it's not. Something.
Yeah.
So that we know what we're buying.
So the beauty thing about doing something like that is your mainstream crazies that are really, really into like resolution, making sure the screen is this, they're going to be able to read the description and say, okay, that's not the cab for me. Instead of making videos like, oh my God, guys, be careful. Like everybody's saying, like, we are making videos about the screen and we haven't even got it yet. We're doing that because, like, we don't want people to buy this and be like, whoa, the screen sucks. How come no one told me? So if they just put it up there, the people that have that very good interest will pick it up. But the people who don't care, the casual people, it's not going to matter if it says 4x3 or 5x4 on it. They're going to say, cool, Mortal Kombat, and then you're good. So there's no harm to them basically just putting it up there. I mean, it should be in the description. It's like last year. They could have just said, listen, guys, shitty sound.
The thing with that is I don't even think they knew.
Yeah.
I don't even think they knew. So someone in the chat was talking about, and I've been looking into this as well. There's a handful of these companies that just make arcades. Extreme Home Arcades, know nothing with them. I have no relationship with them. But for this price, I would really think twice before just like clicking through and like ordering a $5,000 cabinet. I want to see some reviews online. I had seen, so these are brand new cabinets. There's a couple different companies. This one's called Extreme Home Arcade. These are brand new assembled cabinets. One I've been talking to Tulsa Arcades, and he's like trying to get me to buy one of his cabinets, and they're not this much. They're half the price. They're like $2,500. And then they're pre-built with, I don't know what this one is. Maybe I'd have to look into it more. Maybe this one's in Wisconsin. Maybe they're pre-built. But some of the companies, they ship them pre-built. And so, like, delivered to your garage, and then you can wheel it around your house as you go. But you don't have to assemble it or anything like that. Tulsa offers that, but he has some for about $2,500 ready to go. And there's like a PC in there with thousands of games and all that stuff. The one thing about Tulsa, if you look at Tulsa Arcades, I don't really I'm not fully sold on his artwork though. Let me take a look. So those are the Arcade1up. Where is his like straight up arcades? Arcade graphics. Actually, I think they're just straight in the screen. So you can see him right here. Like, this is a Ghostbusters here, but it doesn't look like a Ghostbusters machine. I almost wish he would just, like, can he just use the same artwork from some of the cabs? But it looks like it's all these collages, right? It's like a Star Wars cab, but it's a collage of Star Wars. But he swears that if you take the arcades that are built with cam locks and throw them off of a truck, that cam lock version will shatter.
Really?
But his won't, because it's the method in which he assembles them. And there's a picture of it in here. Like,
how did he know? How did he know that I live on a moving truck at all times?
Well, he's going to say, like, he builds his to last, and what he's trying to say is, he's like, I could sell them for $1,200, and there's other companies that do sell these arcades for $1,200, but you're not actually buying a premium. So, you're building something that squeaks, that's not, is like, I'm just repeating what he said. I don't actually have the knowledge, but he's like, everyone raises that cam locks are amazing. He's like, they're not. He's like, that's not the best way to do it. He claims the way he does it is the best.
Yeah. And listen, I'm sure it is. I don't know what to say here. Like, I'm sure this is a wonderful product. People who buy it probably swear by it, say this is the best shit in the world, and that's awesome.
Catalina wine mixer.
Catalina wine mixer. But like, again, I'll go back. I've had lots of opportunities to buy like a multicade put together by someone locally here over the years. Never got me to jump. Never made me feel froggy. Arcade1up, right art, make it look like the original cabinet. Really cheap. That made me froggy.
Well, would this make you froggy? Some people are talking about the game room solution. $649 for a kit. These are the Camlock machines. I mean, I don't know what, these look pretty sexy, you know?
P-Dubs has a game room solution, like the vertical one, and he says it's unreal. Like he said, the quality compared to any of the home arcade stuff is just bananas.
Something in this kind of, I don't think it's that
like
one, but it looks similar to that, right?
Yeah. Like for me, I'm like, I don't really care. I'm sure it's great, like awesome and stuff like that, but
yeah, I mean, you might as well buy a cabinet. I mean, if you're gonna buy a cabinet, that's, I mean, think about it. You got the Arcade1up. Let's think about it. You got Arcade1up. It's got Pac-Man on it, you know, or a class of 1981, a cabinet that existed in the early 2000s that, you know, we got to play for decades. And then imagine a cabinet that, like, it's like the artwork is not nostalgic, you know, the artwork does not bring you home to a game that you played 20, 30 years ago. I don't know, something like, even if the cabinet is great, you know, it's like high quality, but the game is like Dead Cells or something like a tablet game or something.
Have you seen this art? This art is awesome.
Okay, let's talk about it. Give me your sales pitch on the iArcade Gold.
I can't give you a sales pitch. I wouldn't tell anybody to buy anything. I'm just telling you, I really like it. I looked at these, and I'm going to be 100% dead honest with you. If I had my choice, you know what cabinet would be in my arcade right now? The black and orange with blue standard edition iArcade Gold edition. That's what I would have bought if it was available, but it wasn't available. I didn't have that option. So I was stuck with buying one of these. Did I want to buy Space Invaders? A lot of people love that Space Invaders art. It's cool. It pays homage to the original, but it didn't do it for me. Dragon's Lair, very cool artwork, but you know, I'm getting Arcade1up Dragon's Lair. I knew that, and I didn't really want to double dip. Double Dragon would have been probably the one I got, except for you had to fix the artwork yourself.
Then
I looked at the Dead Cells, and I was like, it has the prettiest colors. If I'm just going off the colors and the artwork, if I'm going to get one of these, I think I'm going to get the Dead Cells one. I don't have any nostalgia for the game at all. Like even the game, I don't have nostalgia for. But like in terms of the colors and everything like that, I just thought that looked prettier than the rest. If there was just a basic ass iArcade standard edition with iArcade's basic art, I would have got that because this is a multicade. I'm not buying it for one specific game.
That's fair. It is. I ended up getting the Space Invaders. It's funny. One of the reasons I got the Space Invaders is because I don't have the iArcade version anymore. I sold it, and I never built it actually because you know I saw.
Oh, you mean the Arcade1up version?
The Arcade1up. I'm sorry, the Arcade1up version of Space Invaders. I bought it for like $80 and never assembled it because it was like too loud and I don't know. That just irritated me. But I do like this artwork. The artwork on the iArcade version, you know. Yeah, anyway, well, you know what? We can't keep these people all day long, right? I mean, unless you want to go longer, Mike. Like, do you want to go longer?
I can go a little longer. I got to help my wife tonight put the kid to bed because remember I told you last night I had an hour break between streams and then we jumped on Foxes and I'm still in the doghouse. So not too much longer, but I can go longer.
Let's go like 10 more minutes. Those in the chat, put a question mark at the beginning of your chat to kind of point out if you have a question or you have a topic that you want to talk about, and we'll go through maybe 10 more minutes or so and kind of chat through whatever the community wants to talk about. We'll kind of make it a little bit more freeform. We do this a few times, and not everyone gets to be able to have a chance, because we'll, you know how it goes. It's like 2 or 3 people ask a question, and we're like, next thing you know, we're talking about that subject for way too long.
How hard is it to take care of a baby? It was super hard. And I don't know if I shared this with everybody else. Like, I almost ended up missing the stream this weekend. And that was one of the reasons I couldn't do Super Game Room Dudes on Friday, was my kid actually had this thing called a tongue tie. So he had to have his tongue tie released. And it was a bit of a hard week because he's been really fussy. So it was a lot of stress on my wife. And I really needed to be there. And of course, what a great weekend to do a, 9-hour community stream.
Yeah. How's he doing though?
Oh, great. Like, he's moving his tongue around. You can, like, you hear it at first and you're like, I don't really get it, but you can see him move his tongue now. And I think this is going to help him out a lot. So I didn't want to do it because you never want to, hurt your baby or anything, but
yeah. She-Lion says, sometimes I wonder if Arcade1up starts selling parts as accessories like PCBs, coin doors, if it would help their profit margins, or if they'd be open about doing that.
Oh, She-Lion Gaming, you're going to get me on absolute tirade here, because at one point, Arcade1up did have an open inventory of parts on their website, and they were selling hope. They were like, hey, you know what? If you buy our product and anything ever goes wrong, don't worry, because we got all these replacement parts like a real arcade company, and we'll keep you going. But now you buy one of their cabs and you're like, shit, I need to get a new X part. And you go on the website and they're like, man, we don't sell parts. What are you talking about?
That's right. What was the low price of the iArcade Dragon's Lair? So they did an Amazon, right? It was $250, I want to say. Maybe someone in the chat remembers that, because I was going to pull the trigger. I already own an iArcade, but I had this idea of like, so when you get an iArcade, if you have multiple, you only have to buy the game once, and you can actually play it on both machines. And some people do that as kind of like a family plan, if you will. But what I wanted to do was to take one of them and consoleize it. So if I wanted to play, it's a console, right? Imagine you just consoleize it, and you can play some of the games on the TV. It's kind of cool.
So, $2.99 for Dragon's Lair, Prince Malcolm is saying.
Is that right? Well, he would know.
And there's something I want to jump on really quickly. Can you bring up Papa Brad's comment here?
Yeah.
There's a narrative in the community right now that Dragon's MK30 is dead after 10 days. And I will tell you that there's people out there that will go to no length to see a certain company falter and create narratives their own ways. So, I mean, we don't even have the Best Buy. The Best Buy allotments haven't come out yet. Canadian retailers haven't come out yet. If somebody got on MK30 at a rare time that the online wasn't bumping and then turned it into a narrative, come on, guys, be sensible. Don't take everything you hear full value until there's more information out there. It's not dead. It's not even started yet.
That's fair. That's fair. Travis says, any news on the new wave of the legacy cabinets? Data East, Sego, Taito, Technos, IRIM, Konami, etc. I don't think we know anything, do we? For the next generation legacy cabinet, there's been teases of some of those. Konami's been teased. Data East, not Taito, not Technos, not Sega, not IRIM. So I think Data is, I think it's Data East and Konami has been, but I don't even know like what titles they are.
I think all the titles that you see there, Konami's probably the closest, and you would see, and if I saw them doing it, maybe there's an opportunity where they redo the Frogger cab or they do a Contra cab, and it'd be cool too, because if they did Konami, I don't think it would be what people think it would be. Everybody always talks about, oh man, a Konami cab, and then they list off like X-Men, Turtles, and Sunset Riders. You're not going to get that. What you would get is something like Frogger, Time Pilot 84, Contra, Super Contra.
And now I'm thinking about it. I think that might be the only thing teased. Data East, I don't think is happening, or at least it's not been teased.
Kevgret is clarifying something, and I appreciate this because I thought he was talking about, because there was some stuff out in the community about the online being dead after 10 days. Someone's MK screen died after 10 days, and that could happen with a BOE, that could happen with a TN monitor, that can happen with a AtGames Legends Ultimate monitor. It's not just an Arcade1up problem. Any monitor can die, but thank you for the clarification.
Stop being a shill, Michael B.
Being a shill by saying every company can have similar issues.
Okay, here we go. We got to do. No, hold on. Large robot.
Please. Oh, that's stupid.
Why am I doing that?
No. I'll just do it.
I'll do the pitch up. I'll just do this one. Please don't believe the lies. I have over 425 MK30 games played online. It's far from dead, and it's not even out. Best Buy hasn't even shipped, so take that.
Thanks for the super chat, buddy.
Yeah, so another person, P-Dubs, he actually had his Golden Tee die on him. It's not representative of one particular game. Maybe there are faulty monitors. We don't know. It's just sometimes this shit happens, man. And yes, Papa Brad, I just got it. Thank you for the video.
Lots of Konami classic titles that we could do. Ooh, it's a good list.
Gyrus.
No, Pyrus.
Ooh, Tutankhamun. Yes, Juno first. Oh, Juno first. Yeah, the Konami legacy needs to happen. I think some of the other ones, you know what? I think Arcade1up did Data East, but I will say this. I get the impression that if other companies are working, like Taito, for example, are doing a lot of work with AtGames. They did like all the pinball games, and they also are doing stuff with iArcade and Gmode, Data East. They're doing it with those two companies too. I don't think Arcade1up necessarily wants to take a risk on releasing a cabinet that games are already out there. So like Dragon's Lair, the funny thing is they do this magical Dragon's Lair where they try to get all these things right. And like there's all this negative stuff in the community where people are like, oh, the iArcade version is better. I don't think it really matters. I think there's room for both. They're different products. But actually, some people get fixated on this stuff, right?
Right. And I think that's the bet that Arcade1up did with the Dragon's Lair, but it had all these conditions. And it's kind of funny. It's like, okay, there's a Dragon's Lair already out there, but we have the license too. Could we do it? If we have something special to offer. And then the community decides which one they go with. There's a ton of people out there that are like, I know that a year ago they knew Arcade1up was going to come out with the Dragon's Lair, but they're like, if I buy that cabinet, it's going to look like the Dragon's Lair, but I'll never be able to add more games to it. And you know what? If I'm going to spend the money, might as well do it on the iArcade. There's another set of people that totally waited. And they were like, I mean, like I've been trying to explain it for a while. It's like, I've been thinking about it. You know, the narrative of where someone will say that if you're a real gamer, the new thing I want to be like is like, if you're a real collector, you never play your games.
No.
You're not a real collector because you freaking play your games. Like me, I'm a collector. I just collect them. I don't play these things. They're my collection, okay? Like, come on. A real collector doesn't play their games. But my point is there's different audience. Like freaking Glenn, he like buys 2 of everything, keeps one in the box, tinkers around with the other one for a couple days, and then puts that next to it. So he has 2 machines he doesn't play. That's awesome. At least we're talking about it and having a discussion about it. One of the really cool things of actually being a content creator, I've been thinking about it. A lot of other podcasters out there, they start their first season or second season or whatever, and in the beginning of it, they don't know the topic very well. And then like a year later, they do know the topic really well, right? Like you get to grow. And it's like that even if you're a content creator, if you're just in the hobby, right? And that's fun to just learn about the hobby and enjoy it, whether you're playing the game, whether you're collecting the game, whatever. All of those things. Yeah, Juno First, that was one that when I never played it until I got the 60-1, and I was going through every single game on it. And I was like, why is this the best game in the entire collection? It was just fascinating the way I had never played a game like this. Hit one in the chat if you've never played Juno First. Just it's like this weird parallax effect as you're scrolling left and right, and then all of these guys are kind of way off in the distance, and then they come into your playfield and they speed up, and you gotta you can move forward and kind of accelerate the entire game, or you can back up. It's good. So if you heard me correctly, hit one in the chat. If you've never played Juno First, I think maybe Alan has played it. Maybe he misheard me. This guy said never. But if you have an opportunity to play Juno first, it's on the 16.1. Maybe you can play it online or something like that. But it is fun. I bet there's a web version of this game where you can just play it right, because you can probably play it with your keyboard, like spacebar for shooting your arrows. So it's kind of like I don't know, Galaga or Space Invaders type of game, but it's just set up differently. But it's a lot of fun.
There's so many great arcade games I'd love to see come out, but I'm different than a lot of people too. I don't want to see them as part of a collection on one cabinet. I want the cabinet itself. I know I'll never get it, but
you'll get it, man. You'll get it. What year was that made? It says 1983. See, it's never going to happen because Arcade1up is only going to release 90s
hates 80 games. Hates 80s games. Boom Patrol. I don't see it, man.
Yeah, Donut saying it's also in the 412 and 1. I think I just got the 412. I can't. No, I don't have the 412 and 1. I got a new vertical, horizontal Pandora box that I was going to plug into a Partycade. I really need to unbox that. I still haven't. I think it'll be. I was going to, make the video on it, so it's kind of like I haven't even I've had it for 2 or 3 weeks. What do you got coming up, Mike?
Geez, I don't really know. The funny thing is, I've got a bank of ideas. So I've got my next 2 Chillin' Chats. I'm pretty much figured out what I'm going to do on those, unless something changes in the community. This is so fluid sometimes. Something will come up and I got to push something else back, and maybe a Chillin' Chat becomes a video. It all depends. But I think what I'm doing tomorrow night, I'll just openly tell you, the original plan, which is going to be my Chillin' Chat for next week, was to talk about how iArcade and Arcade1up have this weird relationship, and could they work together, right? That was the idea. Really what I wanted to do is this weekend really opened my eyes to kind of what Arcade1up is doing, and I really want to focus in on this whole special reserve thing they did with Dragon's Lair and the pro cabinets coming out. And we know that they've brought in some new staff members, and I kind of alluded to it jokingly on the call. They just brought in this person that has a background with Hasbro Pulse, so maybe Arcade1up is moving in a bit of a different direction and looking at more direct-to-consumer options, and maybe we're going to get some really special shit. So I think that's what I want to talk about tomorrow night. Yeah.
Do that, man. That'll be great. I like that. I like that very much. It's a good topic. Look forward to that.
It's going to be fun. You're going to be on it.
I'm going to be on it?
Yeah, you're going to be on it.
Okay, I guess I'm on it. Someone else had mentioned something interesting. Well, okay, this one was they just asked if I did not participate in the flash sale. And the reason was because I wanted the Tron. And then there was only 20.
Yeah,
so
that one was hard.
Yeah. I mean, John was like, we can make it 19. And I was like, no, let's keep it at 20. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, and then I already had Defender Partycade, and I think that was the other one. I already had the Street Fighter Big Blue. So there was some other, and I had a sample of the countercades, right? I had NBA Jam, but then if I got the Marvel superheroes, which would have been cool. See, here's the thing. We knew the inventory count. So when you look at the inventory count and it's there's 17 of these available and I really want one, it's that's okay. We want to make sure everyone else got a good deal.
I will tell you, I was openly a piece of garbage, and
you were a piece of garbage.
I put in a reservation on the Defender Partycade only because it's the greatest thing that Arcade1up have done in the last little while, and we can't buy it in Canada, so yes. I wanted to get it.
Yeah. So if you don't know about that one, you were a piece of garbage because you filled out the form before it was live.
Technically, no. I didn't know. I waited exactly till 2:30.
Okay. Yeah, there's some good memes going around about the lady that was there, and I think I don't know if I saw Mad Astro Gaming's Mad Dad, right? I don't know if I saw his meme. I've seen 3 or 4 different memes, but I wanted to create some memes today. The one I was thinking of is like instead of the lady, it's a BOE monitor. So instead of a face, you see a monitor. It says BOE. And then John D's like, it's COVID. It's COVID.
No, it's COVID.
I can't do it. It's COVID.
So, there's a million things that could have happened from that, but John's response was just so perfect. I said it last night and I'll say it again. He could have turned around and said, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm married, or I'm sorry, ma'am, this is not, appropriate. Instead, he's like, no, it's COVID.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because the husband reached out to me and said, like, hey, we were...
Yeah.
She was doing it on purpose, and I thought to myself, like, I was like, oh man, she's a part of the community. Did I say anything mean to her? Did anyone say anything mean about that lady? And I was like, I really, because what I find out is she was watching the stream.
So,
and then when she got done with her troll, she went back and watched the stream and saw the response, and I was like, wait, it's not about her. It's about John's response to her. That's what was funny. Like, the meme is, it's COVID.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
The memes are fine, but what the only thing that could come up that was maybe a little bit rude was someone asked that question, like, did she smell like, what was it? No, candy corn. Right. So anyways, I think more so that had to do with assuming that maybe she had some substance abuse issues, and like you see on The Simpsons sometimes, like they have these women with the smokes that hang out in the bowling alleys. I think that's kind of the joke there. So I hope she didn't take any offense to that, but I think that had more so to do with the stereotype than it had to do with her individually. So hopefully there was no...
But if she was trolling the community, then that means she was acting and putting it
Probably,
on. And
yeah.
so we were falling for her act, and anything that we say just... Anyway.
Oh, Zero Hero says candy corn might have been about Sharon Peters. I don't know. I don't know all the... I don't know what the right term for it is. The backstory and... what do they call it? The history? I don't know everything there.
Yeah. I shared that with B today, and I think he said, oh, I know her. I saw her. I hung out with her and talked to her and all that. Yeah. They were there for the Arcade1up event. They weren't just randoms.
Okay. So my wife sent me a picture of the video of the baby, and then put a timer and a confused face. Then I said 10 minutes. Then she just sent me a picture of Pinocchio with his nose growing. So I got to go.
All right, guys, we had a lot of fun. Thanks so much, Mike, for joining the stream. I guess, will I be on tomorrow or the next Monday?
Tomorrow, and probably the next Monday for the weekly 1UP, our new show.
That's right. We do 2 shows a week, one on my stream and one on Mike's stream. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. I'm not going to hit the end button. I'm just going to jam here for the next 2 minutes.
I got to go.
Okay, all right. We'll see you.